different stuff. Let's look at the political structure. How it says it's a common point of frustration that the line between representation and bribery often feels blurred in Jamaica. This is from the British. The practice you are describing is often the Constituency Development Fund, the CDF, while in the
Right.
UK, the rules are significantly stricter and focus on almost entirely on policy and casework rather than direct aid. So even in Jamaica, we turned it into their own thing that works for them.
All right.
Here is
Hold on.
no,
One
Starboy. I don't
second.
want to hear what
Just
you're
give me
saying.
1
I want to
second.
read this, sir. I want to read this because you're not going to explain this to me what these people are explaining who actually run their system their system is fully optimized. Because no matter what you say, it's not going to convince me of anything. So you just need to listen to this and learn, Starboy. All right. Here is how the system compare and what the handout culture exists in one but is illegal in the other. So it's even saying how Jamaica does it. It's illegal in the UK, right? How it works in Jamaica. MPs have legal state-funded mechanism called the Constituency Development Fund. This gives each MP a specific budget, currently several $1 million per year, to spend directly in their area. The legal amenities, technically, an MP can use these funds for social safety nets activities. This includes back-to-school grants, housing assistance, funeral grants. No, the gray area, while the funds is legal, it is often criticized for encouraging clientism, where citizens feel they must support a specific politician to get basic help. Critics argue this turns MPs into welfare offices rather than lawmakers. The illegal part, it is strictly illegal to hand out cash, food, or gifts in exchange for a vote during election period. But this blurs the line because if there are funds remaining during elections, there are no rules preventing this from happening. This is called treating. Though it is notoriously difficult to prosecute in Jamaica courts, the UK system is designed to prevent handouts entirely. An MP in the UK acts as a representative, not a provider of goods. No direct fund to a UK MPs do not have a pot of money like the CDF to spend on residents. They cannot buy someone a new roof, pay for a funeral, or hand out groceries. Casework, not charity. If a UK constituent needs a house repair, the MP does not pay for it. Instead, the MP writes a formal letter to the local council or the housing association to pressure them to do their job. Their power is influence, not the purse. Bribery, the Bribery Act and treating. Under the Representation of the People's Act, treating is a serious criminal offense. An MP or candidate cannot even buy a voter a pint of beer or a sandwich if it is intended to corruptly influence them. Even the ordinary hospitality is highly relegated during elections. So, my friend, this is what we're trying to explain to your brother. That if a pint of beer, your MP no fit buy.
You can't give me my time for that. No?
Hold on.
Oh,
Just
big
give me
up
another
yourself.
reply to Gentleman City. Just 1 second.
JT, it proves
You
that
remember-
No, man,
Jamaica's
give
problems.
Crispy, wait,
One
man,
second,
give.
one
Is it
second,
who
let me-
wanted to talk? Somebody, no.
Sydney.
Who,
All right.
somebody didn't get to speak. Let them get us.
Yeah, man.
No,
First thing,
I was just gonna ask you a question. If you
No,
remember
no,
when
you
you-
gotta hold the question,
Starboy.
Starboy. You gotta hold the
We-
question.
we-
You have to
we-
hold the
we-
question.
get somebody
You have to
else.
give
let
Sydney
me
a turn.
say, let me say, although it's not everything we copy from England because their constitution is different from ours. That are the first thing. No, a foolishness will not talk a while ago, man. You want to come tell me, say, no, me win as well as an MP or a councillor. My know, it's not illegal because you say money, so grant for them thousands of dollars, grant for them every year for this happen in your constituency. So you want to tell me, say, me go on this or no, I'm Miss Jane, I'm a Storm, right? 1 4 sheet of zinc or 6 sheet of zinc, water coming from him. and me can't buy him, you tell me say no if put on 4 sheets of zinc or even 10 sheets of zinc on our house, you tell me say it not happen. You tell me say somebody run us on want 3 piece of ply, cause water coming pan it. I don't want 10 bag of cement to stop water from flooding. You tell me say no if give them that.
No, Mr. Sidney, we're not saying that. We just call that. No, Mr. Sidney, we just call that political party shop. We just call that political party
that's
shop.
A foolish. What that coming? A foolishness you tell me, man. The job. That's why it's supply with the people. You can put England everything and just look at the same thing. You know?
Mr. Sidney, you understand? Mr. Sidney, do you understand what we were saying earlier?
No right.
No. But Mr. Sidney, you understand the other point that we said that, listen, for it to be distributed, it's supposed to be run through the necessary authorities for it to be distributed the rest of the part.
Look here, you them talk. Hold on.
No. I want to know. I just want to know so we're on the same page. Because you're accusing the panelists of something that they didn't say.
Let me talk, man.
Yes,
no, you want to talk.
You know why can't the panelists?
I want to leave Mr. Sidney alone. Make Mr. Sidney talk. So it must be fair and him talk. Leave him. Make him talk.
When you said me go tap up, me take nearly 50 minutes tap up. And I have to come back now I call
I want to hear you, Sidney, because I want to see from idea.
Yeah. Coming like we don't want to be talking.
Digital time number you give me now.
Yeah, but Mr. Sidney, make your point very quickly, sir. Make your point, because we don't want to listen to that for the whole day, because, we respect you as an elder. We respect you as an elder, but you don't get it either. So we're going to hear you out.
Brother. Uno say wrong a while ago, now come back for me as a brother. Uno say, you can't put England thing with free with not everything. Because the constitution different from England. Now tell what wrong in when me tell you a while ago. The MP must can help somebody who can't make it. So you are sitting down, all right, them talk about red, what do you call it? Red sitting on that, where you can't push through this fast enough because who them said that. Red tape, right, sir. So you want to tell me, say no, the lady wants 6 sheets of zinc now. I'm have to go right up there, so now. And it takes 6 months to get 6 pieces of zinc. You know, don't buy that.
But Sidney, why am I say still, you know? Why am I say, you know? Because me that England me live, you know. And from me that England, me never see a MP come up my road yet. Me never see a person call a MP and say, big me a back sheet of zinc or give me a plier or this. They may sit in your prison. So why am I saying them the Jamaica, them they sitting where they run a Jamaica, a party shop, and it been going on for years.
Look here now. But it can do better because for the constitution.
There's better can be done because the other government understand other country run. Them no say so, they no say no right. Because if you buy a voting thing cut out, the country run better and the politicians them are more honest with people.
Why them grant that in the publication every year if you are MP or a councillor have that money can help people in the country? Because we think different.
Yeah, because you have to set if they put things in place properly, it don't need to come down to this. If them really want to make a change, it would move from this already.
Yeah, but look here. Look here now.
What I've been trying to say, many of our problems, I said it earlier and I'm going to say it again, are not mechanical, are not systemic, they are cultural.
Right.
Here we have 2 different locals, 2 different races of people operating under the same system, the same Westminster model. It's identical. And they operate differently because these 2 races of people have different cultures.
Yeah.
Right? It's the culture, it is not the system. And we have to address before I die and leave this earth. This is my lifelong passion. For us to conclude and admit that our problems are cultural. It is the way how we think, it is the way how we do things. And every discussion I have on these programs, it always eventually lead back to culture.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
and no matter how much beating I get across my back, no matter how much thump I get across my face, no matter how ostracized I am from the wider black community, I will not change my point of view because I think I'm right.
So why you say a culture? Why you say a culture?
Because, sir, we have two different races of people operating under the same system, and they behave differently under the same system. Then it is cultural.
Well, me tell you something now, say I can't culture. Remember where we are come from. We are, well, I know, before we get independent, and when we get in, I know we know independent for it. Remember, say a set of people like we, a slave, we are come out, you know, England people, no come out, no slave, you know. Them slave.
Okay, sir,
Crispy, just let him talk. Crispy, let him talk. He don't understand. We're gonna move on because he doesn't understand what we're talking about.
Every time you talk, we don't move on.
Let him talk. No, we have to move on because we're gonna have to listen to you the whole day. Talk where you talk, brother. We can't listen to that. This is not that kind of show. You're not really understanding the level of discussion.
Him say a culture, but not say no culture, right? That a beat you get cross your back. Them same people as slavery.
So a beating you get cross your back, make you not doing the right thing in Jamaica? Like what?
You know, make me talk, brother.
Oh my God! Hurry up, Mr. Sydney, man. I lose patience with this guy.
They said Peter people them said they give it independent. You know when them feel like them said they give it independent. When them fat up themselves, then dry everything and slavery from Jamaica can go pack up over there. See everything. And when we out, you know, when we say we get, I know we not get independent fully, you know, because you get problem with the mace out here. Somebody go lift up the mace. And the big problem, can go lift up the queen or the king, something in this. So they have to worship the mace where I come from England.
Yes, sir.
That would no culture, brother. No culture, my friend.
JT, before you switch, I want to make one other point quickly.
Yeah.
When Mr. Ange was rising throughout the ranks in politics, one of the reasons why people like my dad and many other people were strong supporter of his was that because he was young at the time and knew he was going to change these cultural dynamics.
And he came to he was the Minister of Education as well.
Yes, and instead of changing these cultural dynamics, he fell right in line and perpetuate them. And this is one of the reasons why I hold him more accountable than anyone else, because he was supposed to be the Barack Obama. He was supposed to be the Barack Obama of Jamaica. Exactly. And he fell right in line. He has Bob Ziggy in his cabinet. He has Dr. Ostrang in his cabinet. All of these people who were old guards. Who people like my dad wanted to see the back of.
Yeah. I thought he would have created a more cutting edge cabinet with just more fresh ideas. Oddly Shaw, them we want dead on a job. No one.
Why you make that reach you? Remember, say the man a minister of education and take out in 2 picnic out of school and try and go steal them different. And yard, no, that means a school now run good. So how you make a thing like that reach you? If you are Minister of Education for the country and you take out your 2 sons out of school them where you teach, and you are Minister of Education, you can trust a man like that?
There you go, Mr. Sidney with the jobs. So hope on later on we hold Mr. Golding and so later on, you know. There you go with the jobs.
You see, no, but I facts we are telling you.
Yeah. It's your facts. It's your facts.
And we want to say this goes. Let's say this to the people. Let's say this to the people who always say, what am I? Let's say this to the people who always say, what am I listening to? Guys, nobody's holding you here. We're gonna keep speaking this way. So we're not gonna we're not gonna just get up magically and change for anybody. So people have to find their tribe. If we're not speaking the kind of rhetoric that soothes your ears, it's just like the TV. You can change the channel, my brother. You can change the channel. You don't have to listen to us. Like,
JT, you can let them know Rosalie and all of them other people.
Yeah, Rosalie, them and Jaden and those guys. They're live.
They're over there. They can go tap up the screen over there.
You guys can tap up the screen over there. Rosalie, them, all those people, TikTok boss, them, they're all live. They're live. You guys can check them out, you know. Because I think we're making too much sense here, and we know this can be a bit uncomfortable for some individuals. So just letting you know, guys, Rosalie them live. All right. So Starboy, the gist of the reality is like, I hope you learn what we were trying to say. Is not I was just explaining to you how the structure should work, right? How the structure should work in Jamaica as well. But as what Chris P said, it's culture. In Jamaica, we create our own party shop version of how things supposed to work. Right? I even talk about, let's say for example, and this sound crazy. The other day a man said, JT, you want to stop the man them from making food? I think that the people, even people who are selling roots on the street, that shouldn't be legal. You know why? There is no research backing this kind of medicine that you're selling, and you don't know how much it's costing the healthcare system. We don't know what kind of side effects those things are actually giving off to people who are taking them. And then when they end up in the healthcare system, the government has to take care of them. There should have been a center in Jamaica for research by now that research all these herbal medicines and also certify them to give these herbalists.
So when you talk, if you have your facts,
Brother,
the scientific research center is there, so where everybody can carry their products to. It is there, so it should be.
And it's unapproved, and I'm talking about. So why is it not? Why is it not?
Sir,
why is it not done?
If people not go up there, right? And the Ministry of Health go for them people there. But you take that correction. No, take the correction first. There is a center of research there, sir. Take the correction first. You understand me? Just like there's a Bureau of Standards. Just like there's a Bureau of Standards also, sir. So take the correction.
I know disease never start in Jamaica. I'm sure no start in England and France.
Oh my God, this is what did I get myself into today?
Yeah, you better know, so you get yourself nothing thing. But that control power. Can no disease never start in Jamaica.
A whole heap of things here, yeah, say, and Chris, I say, I'm going to shape me. Come here, say,
bro, it's like in Bruncos, likewise, brother. The same thing when you are shaking head, we are shaking head too, bro. It's the same. It's respectful.
You can get my name correct? Punkos?
Yeah, I was mixing
up. I'm sorry. Yeah, man, thank you very much, sir. But what I'm saying, sir, you provide some information, you read some things, right? Yeah. Now, even with the Prime Minister, you said if the Prime Minister is to be found not guilty, the Prime Minister is not before the court. Nobody has the Prime Minister before the court.
Did you hear that came out of my mouth?
Hold on, no, I'm saying on the platform. Hold on, man. I think a ghost was to say that.
No.
Nobody has the Prime.
No.
Alright, hold on. It no matter. Everybody I run from it. I want to only from phone the side say. See? No, remember, me that work, the phone don't respond me there. So me I say to you now, the Prime Minister is not, nobody has the Prime Minister before the court for anything illegal. Nobody. The Prime Minister is no longer under any investigation. All these things I can prove it. The IC has closed the investigation.
It was one of your guys.
Let me finish.
It was Starboy.
Let me finish.
You know, Punkos, you do this all the time, Punkos. You're busy at work, right? You're busy at work, and when you get a chance,
yeah, clarify that point.
You're busy at work, and when you get a chance to speak, and we try to back up your point, you make it look like we are cow you down. No, it's because when you're busy and you talk and then you're gone, we can't stop you in that. No, what we're trying to say here goes. I was explaining to Starboy saying, for example, we party shop the version of everything, right? In the UK, a man can stand up on the road and sell some roots without it being approved, being tested or whatever. Punkos can tell us Jamaica have everything, but he also prove us right. Nothing is working, right? Because everything we talk about him say we have it already. So why is it not working?
Punkos is not understanding what we're saying, because even though you talk about the medical part of the substance they're using, we have to talk about the sanitation side of it as well.
We don't know how it's made.
We don't know how it's made. If it's done in a sterile environment. A lot of people have different kind of immune system, bro. So what we're trying to say, those type of things, we shouldn't glorify it as a culture. We say you can stop at the roadside and buy because
buy roots, feel belly.
That's what we're trying to say, and he's negating the fact that what we're outlining to say he want to correct us and say the establishment is there.
Say you're wrong. We have it already. We have it already. We have it already. A man up on the road.
But JT, here's the problem you're gonna run into. He gonna run off now and back to work.
You say we have a scientific research council. I'm tell us that there's one of
All right, Punkus, regardless of what they have in the research scientists.
Calm down. I went further to say that is the Ministry of Health to go and prosecute those people. So I'm agreeing with you. Then nothing upon the road as well.
So what was your pushback, Punkus? What was the pushback?
So Punkus, which Prime Minister has said an investigation? Let's go back to this one. Which one you talk? Andrew Holness? Because sometimes I don't know what I can always come say.
Please, I'm gonna be honest with you. You and Punkus no go Google and see him line, you know. So I'm gonna be honest.
I know, but me I don't know who is talking. Who is he talking?
I made that statement and you guys read a whole lot of information.
No, Punkus did that, sir. It was your comrade who did that.
No, I said I made a statement and you guys read a lot of information. And I was asking, after I made a statement about the MP issuing the thing, and I asked you guys, how can we do to correct these things and how can we correct these things by both sides of the party, by the way how they do things? Well, you guys never remember that. And I've been trying how long to get through and tell you guys to remember that I said that. And then I give me the only thing with the guys, hold on. Explain to him, Chris. Explain to him. I said it. I asked the question, what can we do from both sides so that the MP and all MPs.
Afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, panel.
What can we do to correct all these things? I asked you guys that. And when you guys tell Chris to explain something to me,
guys,
we
can't do anything. The laws are there on the book. They just need to listen. That's why when Chris P them blame that the leadership is weak. Let's bring in Tracy. I think she wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say something because I've been listening. And I'm happy you guys say you are fair and you balance the thing, which is good. But what I heard said earlier, and I don't want you to say, I don't remember who said it, but what Uncle was referring to, I heard you guys were talking about the system is in place, but it's not working. But I will disagree because things are put in place that is working, but persons may not obedient to follow. So you're saying why it is in place that is not working any at all. That's what you guys are saying? Nobody's benefited or any rules or regulation is not carried out?
No, you have to be specific in what? You have to be specific, Miss Tracy, so we know exactly what.
The health, we were talking about the health system that we were talking about, right? Person going on the road and selling health products. So
is that working? Is that working, Miss Tracy? Is that working?
So, of course it's working, but person may be disobedient and may not follow, which is not just Jamaica alone. Everywhere you go, person try to break rules.
Okay. Miss Tracy, can I give a little pushback? Miss Tracy, can I give a little pushback for a little bit? Respectfully?
Yes.
All right. So, Miss Tracy, earlier, Chris P was saying to you that he was underlining that culture is an important factor to this problem. So what he's saying, or when he was, and one other thing, when he talk about culture, if he was here for the last 2 days, he would say it's the acceptance. It's not maybe you and me is not going to do it, but it's the acceptance for a person to go out there and buy it from the guy, because we know he's a street man. That cultural aspect of it, to say we're supporting it. Because if he didn't have any buyers, he wouldn't be out there selling it, Miss Tracy. That's what we're trying to say also.
Okay. Just want to clear that up.
Okay,
I just want to clear that.
And that's why
Chris label it as culture.
Yeah, that's why you have to get the cultural thing.
I didn't get it. Like it's like nothing working. Like this is not working any at all.
Miss Tracy, sometimes we watch our internet and I will look and see the guys over India how they scratch up themselves and do the thing nasty with the food. Me and you as a Jamaican, as with our culture, how we grown up, we know. When we see the little nasty dirty cat, then we're not buying no food from them type of people,
I'm not buying food in India where people are wiping their bottom with their hands. I'm not buying food in India either. So Miss Tracy, what we were saying as well, it comes back to culture again. The system is there with how the MP is supposed to coordinate themselves and disperse of amenities, but it's not followed, but it's accepted that that's what Sydney said. If the lady up there house needs 6 zip, you can't tell me say me can't buy it. You can't tell me say me can't buy the 6 zip.
Regarding the MP, them, that is not true. That is not true. You don't understand the system.
And here comes Punkus again.
Here comes Punkus again, the government defender.
That is not true. It's not the government defender, but
No,
no,
bro,
better
that's
both
bro,
sides of the aisle.
Punkus, you
Hold
are.
on,
No,
can I
bro,
respond to you?
no, you're the most
You are saying
biased
that the
person
MPs
that have met.
No, I am
defend-
sir. Please
Punkus, tell me us
Hold on,
one
may I
thing in
ask you
Jamaica
kindly?
that is not working.
Whole heap of things now. Whole heap of things. But what message you say? What you said about the MP distribution is not true, sir. Yes, I'm not them to do it. Show me where in the constitution and the law that the MP
My
should
friend,
not do this.
was I the one who brought it up? I read from.
No,
I
I
read
am
from.
saying to you, show me where in the law it's not to be done.
My friend, I use how the British Parliament or the British
Why you not
political
answer me?
structure.
Well, can you show me?
All right, I can't finish. So you can finish.
No,
I'll
but
let you finish talk and then.
Ask a question.
No, bro, you know that you're limited in. I realize that you don't listen very
The
well.
second insult. Well, not the second insult. Second person attack. Please don't.
You don't listen very well. I use the British system because the Jamaica system is a mirror of our colonial masters who put in place the system in Jamaica and how it was intended to work. And I use it as an example. Your comprehension is really bad, bro. Yeah.
Let me get at him a little bit, JT. Punkus, you're right that there is nowhere in the Constitution that precludes something like the Constitutional Development Fund, right? And how it operates. But also, your question is going to allow me to flesh out another point. Politics, the bar for politics is higher than the legal bar, And we set the bar for politics at only the legal level. And for me, politics is not only a legal issue. It is also a moral and cultural issue. You know what I mean? For example, Boris Johnson, during COVID in the UK, he said he was not at a party when he was there. It is not illegal in the UK for a politician to lie. When it came to public that he lied, culturally, he had to step down. So when we're discussing our politics and our country, we have to get out of the legal all the time. When JT was talking about Mr. Vaz, people keep on saying, but he wasn't charged. He wasn't convicted. Mr. Vaz is a public figure. The bar is not only at the legal level, it is also at the cultural, moral level. You know what I mean?
And Crispy, since we started on this app, as this gentleman accepted that is there one thing in Jamaica that we spoke about on this platform needs adjusting. Every single argument, it's already there. It's working. The government, that's why the government is doing this and it's working. And everything is working. But we're the only people who don't see it working. You look like we're the only idiot here.
Jamaica works.
But listen, that's the thing that I'm asking. You're saying it is not working, but it is working, but you have loopholes.
That's not true.
He did not say that. That's not true. He didn't say that. Yes. He said if anything, he agreed with you. He said he agreed with you on the thing that Minister of Health should go after these people. That's what he said.
Well, Mr. Starboy, today was the first time I'm seeing you on the program, right?
No, you've seen me, but
first time. You was here yesterday too, sir?
Yeah, I was here yesterday.
Oh, so you wasn't here for day. You wasn't here for day one then, right?
No, I was here yesterday.
Oh, you missed out day one. Okay,
I was here yesterday.
I did half a class yesterday, Mr. I did half a class yesterday.
What's the guy? Michael Chin or Michael Lee or something.
Michael Lane, yeah. I was here for half a class. I left early from school yesterday. But they number one, Mr. Punkus have been a gentleman he advocate heavily for his JLP party, and he haven't been splitting justice down the line, sir.
No, but because the gentleman said all the time. Okay, can I ask you guys something?
I'm saying all the time since we started the platform, bro. It's been 2 days. He's just politically driven in every answer he gives. That's the difference with us. We want Jamaica to get to another point, but we don't have any political affiliation. And
I have a question. You're saying that nothing is not working in Jamaica?
No, we're not saying
that. Would you say that?
I didn't say that, ma'am. I didn't. I think Crispy said that. Crispy, is anything working in Jamaica?
Crispy said the leadership is weak, right?
I said again, very little works. You know, I'm in my city because saying all is just too dramatic. You know, but Jamaica is a failed state.
Crispy, you live in Jamaica?
Oh, here we go.
No.
Here we go.
No, I don't.
Oh, all right. So it make no sense trying to convince you.
No, you want to try? Starboy? Do we have time? You want to try?
Sir, I'm the fact that I don't live in Jamaica can be used as evidence to back up my point.
A lot of things don't work, and a lot of things do work. Not a little amount, not a small amount. A lot of things work, and a lot of things don't work. Next question is, Crispy said the leadership is weak. Now, he said, Jamaica is cultural. Now, if Andrew Holiness come in and try to run Jamaica, as you guys said, do everything that the British do, because it's a mirror of both countries, right? Because they rule under Commonwealth. Anyway, if he tried to change all these things, what do you think the people are gonna do? The people are gonna turn against him because number one, the little woman who can come out on the road and sell in igloo with juices.
Here we go. Yeah, my go down there. They seem they go
He supported. As Crispy will say, you supported my point.
No. Listen, I'm asking you. You guys just reading and expect everything to change. Crispy is the one who said it is.
Sir, when Mr. Onus was rising up through the ranks, many Jamaicans supported him because they wanted cultural change. I'm including my dad. I know this because my dad said it. He was happy for Mr. Onus because they wanted cultural change. So this notion that if he changed anything culturally, there'll be a problem. People supported him because they wanted cultural change.
But Crispy, I understand what you're saying.
Your dad and your cousin are 1 million or maybe 100 or say 10,000 people does not gonna make up for the whole Jamaica. Because when
sir, you don't need the majority to change, sir.
When the people gonna hit and it's gonna start to feel the man where usually can sell. Sending kids and go to school by just selling cane or selling few things and that is all cut out. That's when the hit back is gonna come.
Sir.
And Crispy, can I share something with you? Can I share something with you? Because you say you're not living in Jamaica. Listen, sometimes when you're there and see what is happening on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly.
Listen now. What happened, You see, even though it says of a culture, hold on, let me just finish. It says a cultural-based country, right? And listen, you may say it, and the other person on the panel may say what you're saying, but listen, it's in your face facts, because I can tell you, even right now, based on what the Prime Minister trying to do and try to change some little things, he getting back. He try.
Great.
So if he try, he have to take it step by step, because what you're saying is not really wrong, You just have to face reality of life.
Okay.
You have to
Let's
take
work
it
with you for a minute. Mom, there are many people in Jamaica who benefit from high crime, right?
Yes, because all of that is what they try to do.
Okay. But so should the crime? Let's use the crime. The crime rate in 1 year decrease.
I call me limited. Them money I call me limited. And you expect a change to happen just to perhaps. You're limited
again, sir.
You're borderline uneducated.
Mom,
you can't say that.
Mom, in 1 year, Jamaica's crime rate, the number of murders decreased almost 50%. That is a
1
dramatic
year ago that
decline.
happened, they
You
do
think
they
it's
are
1 year?
taking step by
Yes,
step
ma'am.
all over the years.
No,
No.
no, ma'am, no, ma'am,
It's
no.
a
Isn't
In
it
process.
1
didn't
year,
happen in
No.
fully?
no, ma'am, no,
It
no,
didn't
ma'am, no,
happen in
You're
no,
1
wrong.
year,
No,
Crispy.
no,
wrong.
Let's be
ma'am,
You're
honest.
wrong.
ma'am.
It is a
In 1
process.
year,
Be honest. Yeah, be honest. It's a process.
in
No, it
It's
has
a
been a process.
ma'am,
process, I
It's a
can tell
ma'am,
you.
process.
listen
Yeah,
what
I'm
I'm
listening
saying.
to you.
In 1 year, in one decade a year,
Mm-hmm.
maybe because I'm speaking English, you people assume that I'm kind of not Jamaican. I don't know. In 1 year, the
Jamaican
crime
speak
rate,
English, you know, we are English speaking country, so what are you saying?
yeah,
We understand
yes,
you. Mm.
in 1 year, the crime rate, the number of murders dropped almost 50% overnight. It doesn't take a long time.
So you're
Many
telling me because of that, he's going to
So
just
Chrissy,
go ahead
from
and just
2024,
demolish a lot of things that is gonna
2024
cause problem. You have to
wasn't
take it step
a
by step.
reduction. In 2024 wasn't a reduction. In 2024 wasn't a reduction. In 2023 wasn't a reduction.
So based on what you said a while
in
ago, does
2023,
people
no, sir.
complain
In
about
20,
that? Somebody asking, does person complain about that? What you just said, what happened in 1 year? Did they complain about it?
Time, the old time narrative is used by black people and their politicians to not do things.
The only time the only 2025 there was a reduction then. One jump.
Again, when something is pertinent to politicians, it does not take any time. For example, when they wanted to extend the DPP's tenure in office, they changed the constitution in 1 day. Did not take any time. That's a fact. That's a fact. They changed the constitution to extend her time in office in
Sir, that's not true.
day.
That's not true. Again, you're telling a lie, Chris. Chris,
Come on, man.
beat up on that.
Come on.
Chris, remember, I said,
Okay,
no. Remember,
go
I
ahead.
respond to you.
Go
It
ahead.
never happened in a
Go
one day.
ahead.
The PNP
Go
took
ahead.
the government to court. It never happened in a one day, brother.
After
it was
the PNP took the government to court after the change was made.
No, sir. That's why the changes were made after the court ruling.
You cannot take. I'm sorry. You cannot take somebody to court for something that never occurred.
No, sir. That's why there was an assistant DPP there. You understand me?
No, the assistant DPP was there when the lower court ruled in favor of the PNP.
All right. Hold on. Can I answer you?
But now, hold on, Funkos. Don't mislead the platform. The extension of the DPP was done in 1 day in Parliament.
No,
exactly.
It was done
in 1 day in Parliament.
And look how them do it. Look how them do it. Hold on, Punkos. Punkos, hold on, make we explain to the platform. Right? The Minister of Justice, which was Delroy Chuck, brought a bill to Parliament to extend the age of retirement because the DPP had applied for a second extension of her retirement. Right? They brought the bill to Parliament 1 day, debate it and pass it in a 1 day. And the DPP retirement age moved from 60 to 65, even though she benefited from a 3-year extension previously. The People's National Party took it to court, took it to the Constitutional Court. The Constitutional Court deemed it unconstitutional. And as a result of that, she had to step aside and they appoint a temporary DPP. The Ministry of Justice appealed the judgment. And when it went to the appeal court, the government won. And I want you to listen to me carefully. The government won not because the extension was unconstitutional, but because the DPP was the sitting DPP at that time. Therefore, the court ruled that she should benefit from the extension of the retirement age. So don't fool the platform. We are all here. And that is exactly what happened.
Court system, our parliament work effectively then. Because that's how you just say.
Well,
the courts work.
exactly.
And the
Yes,
parliaments work.
yes,
courts, yeah.
sir, I'm Punkus. The debate is over. The notion that it takes time to implement certain things. That's incorrect. That's all I'm saying.
You said everything
When
can change all
politicians,
at once.
when it's something, when politicians want to implement something that benefits them, it done very quickly. Time is again this notion that things take time is used by Negroes and their politicians
To the platform itself.
It's a blur.
when
Yeah,
the Minister of Finance, Nigel Clark wanted to increase the politicians' pay, it did not take a long time. It was done very quickly.
If I make a comment on that.
Am I wrong or am I right?
Hold on, Chris. Hold on. You have to put things in context. The politician pay was not just increased because they wanted to increase politician pay. That's not how it went. Right? It was done because of a restructuring of the public sector. The public sector was restructured as it related to pay. And as a result of that, the politician pay raised along with all other public sector. The only thing is that the politician pay went up by over 200%. And that was as a result to...
So you, Blair, shouldn't you, Blair, no, I'm asking you a question to let you, Blair, you have a little bit.
Allow me to explain.
No, because I wanted to explain this within your explanation. I'm gonna give you back the floor. It's something I want to know from my own understanding. So it couldn't be a clause within that where there was an exemption where where political leaders' salaries could have been adjusted in a vacuum. Continue.
No.
Okay. The permanent secretary is the highest paid public servant, and what they wanted was to politicians, especially government ministers, to get I think $150,000 or $150,000 over them. You understand? So if you increase the permanent secretary salary, then you would have to increase the minister's salary. And if you increase the minister's salary, you would have to increase the politician's salary, because it was a restructuring. You understand? It wasn't done in a vacuum. So let us not say the politician pay was raised in a vacuum. It wasn't. It was raised as a result.
But Sydney, tell them the last time it was 17 and a half years ago. The last time they got the increase.
Yeah. Right. Then there was a commission by Matalan who suggested that the politician pay be raised, and the government of PJ Patterson delayed it, and they didn't do that. I am not saying that the politician couldn't accommodate a lesser pay than the 250%, which their pay was increased by. They could have. The executive arm of government could have said that, okay, we will cap politician pay here and allow the public sector to be restructured and the pay structure to be sorted out. They could have accepted that, but they didn't.
And that was my question, especially with the timing as well. Remember, the timing was off, because it's a time where Jamaicans are struggling as well. And
they will counter that and tell you that the politician pay wasn't the only pay raise. All public sector worker pay raise at that time.
Again, my issue is not the raise of pay. My issue is that this notion regarding things take time is something that predominantly is done by black people and their politicians. These things do not take a lot of time. All you need is political will to get certain things done.
We're not talking about building constructing a skyscraper. You were talking about policy. You understand?
I think one of the biggest problems politicians suffered from is transparency and accountability. And as a result of lack of transparency and accountability, it led to a lot of speculation. You understand, whether they are honest or they are dishonest. That's just my view.
And I remember in my grandma, one of the reasons why I keep on saying, our ancestors failed us, because in my grandmother's generation and earlier generation, politicians were expected to be corrupt. They were rewarded for being corrupt.
It all depends on where your generation fall, because each generation since adult suffrage in 1938 has fight for different things.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about.
Just a minute. I heard you. I would say that these politicians now are more corrupt than our foreparents. Our foreparents did all the sacrifice, and these politicians
I disagree. I disagree though with that. I disagree.
am not arguing that, I am saying that
crispy from my born. From I was a kid, I grew up and to hear about corruption running rampant in politics in Jamaica.
Yeah, well, I think this is. I think politician is more corrupt now. Than
I would think they might be less corrupt.
Based on the structures and the internet.
Also, we have to not conflate being incompetent with being corrupt. So sometimes we conflate incompetency with corruption, and they're not the same, right?
Well. I sure determine what is incompetent and what is corruption.
No, I'm not talking about you, because I really accuse a politician of corruption. It's rare. Because I focus more on the policy than the minutia. I am a policy person. I am not a nuts and bolts in the weed down there. I said, okay, what are policies here? And then because I believe that actions are going to be guided by policy. Just like how yesterday we talked about that Museveni, the president of Uganda, put out a policy where they will no longer export raw material. That's a policy. Right? No, the people in the country are going to operate around that policy. You want Uganda's coffee? No, you're going to have to set up a factory in Uganda, right? You want Uganda gold? No, you're going to have to make jewelry in Uganda.
But Crispy, I think you left off half of the discussion. Isn't the whatsoever aid is coming from the United States will be tied to their involvement in the mineral production?
Uganda is not taking it. Uganda is not operating. Again, I'm glad you said that. When we talk about aid from the United States and that type of argument, we are basically blaming the white man. It's another way of saying we are crappy and we fail because of white people, right? Our circumstances are 100% because of decisions our ancestors have made.
And I totally disagree with you.
Okay, fine.
Agree with you. Disagree with you.
Fine.
Because our ancestors fight for freedom. Fight for the abolishment of slavery. Fight for voting right.
They did.
Right? And fight for independence. So how can we turn around now and say that we blame them? We don't.
I blame them for. Sir, people are competent in some areas and not so competent in other areas. All of the things that you listed out, our ancestors were very competent in those areas. I give them credit for that. But regarding running countries and running economy, they were woeful.
But you see, Chris, yeah, make a point. Like, you're speaking based off of like an overseer knowledge, like your omnipotent knowledge, right? And it's kind of ignorant in a sense because it's not like nobody used to know you. We know your character, right? And we know what you were about. When people probably know your name, right? We hear your voice, we hear your outbursts, right? But if me give you $1 million, me can't trust you with it. How me know that, right? So what me basically say is that your judgment can't be cast like that. You have to be subjective in your volume. Me hear what you say, they make mistakes. You can't expect perfection. Right? Your expectation.
Is that 100 live?
Yeah, I mean.
Are you not? Okay. Since that you raised that question, explain Nara to me in your own words.
No, I just heard what you said. Me not debate Nara to nobody. Me just wait for Nara to come out.
Because what you said to Chris a while ago.
Not even my own fella.
Hold on, 100. Yeah, what you said to Chris a while ago. If I give you 100,000, or would I trust you with it?
I'm speaking to Chris personally.
Okay. I want you to translate that.
Yeah,
I want you to translate that to Naira. Hold on, man. Don't answer the question. Don't answer the question before me ask it. I want you to translate that or transfer that to Naira, where 6.7 billion US dollar loan was taken by the government of Jamaica.
Yes.
Then create the entity named Naira, where the chief executive officer will be appointed by the Prime Minister, answerable only to the Prime Minister. He will be in charge of procurement and issuing of contracts. His signature will be the only signature as it relates to procurement and issuing of contracts. There is no oversight. There is no oversight. And you entrust him.
Stop that.
6.7 billion.
Let me talk to you. There is oversight.
There is no oversight.
You want me name the oversight bodies them to you?
I know the 5 entities. Name them and
I'll you just say there is none. So you just say there is none.
No, man, no. Name the 5 where you're gonna name. I know exactly where you're
First
going.
one, you have the Integrity Commission. You know the Integrity Commission, you know the Auditor General, you know MOCA, you know what name that again?
You have PAC and you have PAS.
Yeah, those two committees. Yeah. So all you said there's no oversight.
Number one, this administration.
Hold on, man.
No, but hold on, answer. Wait, you just said there's no oversight.
No, you list out 5 entities. So let me explain all those 5 entities.
No, hold on. Are those oversight bodies? No, hold on. Are those oversight bodies?
Mr. Blair.
Mr. Blair. Yes, they are oversight bodies.
Mr. Blair, I know that you guys know each other. Mr. Blair, I know that you guys know each other. We don't want to turn it into where you guys know each other and it's like this cross-war partisan thing that's taking place. We want to keep it broad. I'm getting a sense of that you guys.
No, we're not going.
You guys been on the opposite side throughout.
I just want to explain the five oversight committee which he mentioned. The first one is the Auditor General. First to comment. The Auditor General does not have enough resources, financial and manpower, to audit all ministries and departments and local authorities in Jamaica, much less to be asked to oversight and audit a large company, a large creation such as NARA. The Auditor General does not have
All right, so we can grant you that. Let me grant you say
hold on, don't cut me. Allow me to explain the 5 of them.
Yeah, but after this, we're gonna move on, because we wanted to touch. We had this plan. We wanted to touch on the trade deficit in CARICOM. That was something else.
We can touch. Yeah, but me just explain these 5 committee, oversight committee, which you mentioned. The NARA said that the NARA itself will hire an auditing company, which will do an audit 4 months after the financial year. Right? So at that time, when he does that, he will send it to Parliament, and at that time, the Auditor General will have a time to look at it. But the Auditor General does not have enough resources to audit government ministries and departments and local authority, much less to find resources to go audit NARA.
All right, great.
The PAC, hold on. The PAC and the PAAC, the Public Accounts and Appropriation Committee. Before NARA can be brought before those committees, there is a motion of to laid on the floor of Parliament inviting them, where the governing party, as a result of their majority, can vote down the motion. So if them say NARA not coming to Parliament, the PAC or the PAAC, they can use their majority and vote it down. The Integrity Commission, you guys label the Integrity Commission as a sub.
Mr. Beer, we're moving on, sir. After he make a point, we're moving on from NARA, sir.
All right, Mr. Beer, just an interjection. I can grant you, let me grant you the favor of saying that these 5 institutes are incompetent, right? No, hold on. Okay, just for argument's sake.
Competent.
No, just for argument's sake. No, I'm using it. I use it.
No, that's your word, not mine.
Yeah, it is mine. It's 100 life. Why not? I go extreme. Them can't do them job. Them more listen. Incapable and incompetent. 100 life. I grant you that paradigm. They're cool, right? So what about number 6? Isn't the opposition supposed to act itself as an oversight committee body? Is the opposition incapable? No, what are you gonna say about that?
The opposition cannot act as an oversight body.
Why not?
When there is an indemnity and a secrecy clause. Because the opposition will not be
able to... Is the oversight body for the government? Blair,
no.
Is it the oversight? Oversight?
Can you oversight something without the information? You have to get the information in order to oversight it. There will be no information.
Is it the opposition and oversight for the government?
But hold on, what are you talking about?
No.
We gotta move on from this. You guys can hijack.
Yeah, man, move on.
I think they are taking their thing that they're debating like on other times to this, where it's just gone down to Jamaica Parliament. It literally sounds like going to the Jamaica Parliament sound. The NARA and who's Clara, and they're gonna oversight. Like, we get it, bro. Like, we're not gonna be able to stop. Even this administration don't even respect the oversight committee. They don't even respect them. So they can even put the oversight committee and say, you guys can watch it 24/7. You can audit everything we do, and when the reports come out, like, nothing's gonna happen. You know, there's nothing's gonna happen. Those things are just there on paper.
So facts about mine.
As of 2026 here, we saw an article here that I was looking at this week. As of 2026, Jamaica continues to grapple with significant trade deficit in CARICOM, primarily driven by high imports of fuel, food from regional partners like Trinidad and Tobago. The most recent data from Statistical Institute of Jamaica and financial reports for 2025 calendar year highlighted a widening gap despite a small uptick in Jamaican export to the region. CARICOM trade balance widening. Imports from CARICOM increased by 14.7% in 2025. This is imports again, people. We will dive down a bit more into what these imports are, which is taking up the bulk, what Jamaicans are importing most. The growth was largely fueled by a rise in cost and volume in mineral fuels and processed food coming into the island. So processed food is one, mineral fuels and coming into the island. Export performance. There was a slight uptick though. There has been a bright spot in regional trade. Jamaican exporter CARICOM rose approximately US 156.2 million, up from 119 million. So that's over maybe what, 37? That's a 30 something more million, 30 something million added to that, to the export total there. 2024, this was driven by manufactured goods, food and beverages. The Trinidad and Tobago remains one of Jamaica's top 5 global trading partners, but the relationship is this is something I wanted to touch on, it's heavily lopsided. Jamaica remains a net importer of Trinidadian manufactured goods and energy. Indicator 2025 impact. Let me look. Total trade here widen. So this is the trade gap, the trade deficit in 2025. The US 5.87 billion. And let me see how much is Jamaica GDP. So the Jamaica GDP should be around probably 11 billion. Hold on. Okay, let me see this. I just have to do what's
Jamaica GDP around 23 billion dollars.
GDP 20. I'll just make sure 2026. I just want to. Yes, 23. You did US approximately US 23 billion. So about 25%. So this would be a little bit on that 25%, a little bit under 25%, right? That's the trade deficit when it comes on to our export. Exports to, the export to import ratio is 22%. It's 22. Jamaica earns only 0.22 for every $1 it spends on export. Wow. CARICOM import up plus 14.7%, driven by high demand in industrial supplies and food. What are those industrial supplies? We need to find it. Energy costs. Despite a 7.5 decline in global fuel spending in 2025, Jamaica regional energy bill remains high due to reliance on Trinidadian supplies for industrial and transport needs. Okay, agriculture earnings. So agriculture earnings dropped by 19.1% in 2025, largely due to destruction caused by the hurricane. Okay, makes sense. Manufacturing barriers. While Jamaica has seen a slight uptick in food and beverage export, 1.7%, non-tariff barriers and high logistic costs with CARICOM continue to make it difficult. Now, how long has this been happening? Because I always wonder how is this administration addressing this? Because this hasn't started today. And if I even go back the fact that it improved in 25, it's telling you that it has been worse. It has been worse in previous years.
Okay, I give you something where you can research. In 2016, Jamaica foreign direct investment was over 900 million US. Could you research and tell us where it is now and to itemize it coming down the line? Then you could see what is really happening.
What is it? Jamaica what?
Foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment.
Direct.
FDI.
All right. Oh yeah, I think this should give us some insight into the shifts in the economy here. Yes, this should. Okay, so we're gonna go to the post-hurricane dip, right? We want to go to the post-hurricane dip. Flows took a significant hit in 2025 after the high US 377 million in 2023. Inflows dropped. You want to go back from 2016?
Yeah, go from 2016 because you couldn't count the 2025.
Yeah,
Count
because
from
it is as
and look how it gradually dropped from that time, and then you will see how investment come into the country from foreign direct investment, and then you will see what is happening in the especially in the manufacturing sector.
Let's look at from 2016. Here we should be able to get some numbers. To understand the drop here, foreign investment FDI since 20, it's helpful to look at the shift from construction boom era to more complex post-pandemic landscape. While headlines now show significant decline from US 928 million recorded in 2016, the context suggests this is as much about completion. Now, you notice that Crispy with the brother named Punkus, you see, anytime you come up with actual numbers that affects the government, he's not able to defend that. He always disappears. Whenever you come up with any kind of numbers where he cannot come up and say, you're telling a lie. That's a lie. And I told you that guy has no credibility, bro. The man run off of the street. Like, these are things that we cannot make up. So he just disappears.
Seabreeze, you know him enough. Seabreeze. You guys been doing this. This is what he do all the time.
That's why you see, he don't like me, you see. He don't like me because me not allow him. I don't allow him to do this. It's just like earlier I him say the prime minister under no investigation, and that's a lie. That's a lie. Blatant lie. This guy
he just left. JT, before you continue, it's just like a clock, As soon as they shift to a different argument now, when we move something, he jump back up and he pops up back with something else.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And today, what I decided, I said, today, I'm gonna start doing what they don't know. I love research. So we said today we go in research. We're not gonna do this free willy talking with them every day. So they just come on and tell us a lie, we are tell. So now he just run now because now we're gonna go into the foreign investment, and bro, it is looking very bad. So in 2016 it peaked. It was a massive Chinese investment in Al Park and North-South Highway, 927 million. 2019 it dropped to 665 million. Pre-pandemic cooling, transition to BPO and tourism focus. Okay, makes sense. Crash, COVID crash. Okay, the COVID crash did happen, which that affected the world in 2020. So it dropped significantly, more than half, more than 50%, over 60% to 265.1 million. 2023, it had slight recovery. There was a recovery phase here. It went back up to 376. But look what happened in 2024. Foreign investment, it says global foreign investment dropped in Jamaica to 156 million. And 2026 is 210. It's already rebounding slightly in 2026, but last year, there was almost no investment in Jamaica, bro. There was all, and if you tell him that right now, they're doing that. They're doing that. You guys are coming on here telling lies.
The reason why I mentioned all of that is to put things in context, because they are going to tell you that the country is running the best and the country is growing and the country is developing. It's the best it has ever been. But if you look at the numbers, then you will see that they are not telling the truth. And that's why I like to make the speak for me.
JT, but the thing is that we have done this before. You know what I mean? You and I and the panel, albeit that we're on YouTube and this is a new audience, this is not our first rodeo. You know what I mean? We have dissected the economy already under Mr. Onus' leadership, and JT, you brought up several years where growth was not only zero, it was negative.
Yeah.
So, come on, man, come on.
Yeah,
come on.
and then this guy is coming on here and making us look like we're some just liars who show up on TikTok to spread propaganda.
At the time, people were saying the reason why the growth was negative was because of COVID, and another year it was because, and then when it was negative in 2016, they said that was a
let's look
spillover
at Jamaica's growth year on year. Jamaica's growth year on year from 2016. Just to remind the audience over here, because people, you guys have us over here say we don't have no sense. Which party they money support? We don't support any party. We know we saw today. We dig into the numbers, and it turned out that PJ Patterson might go down as one of the worst prime minister in the history of Jamaica, based on what we're reading today. I think it's very possible that PJ Patterson could go down as one of the worst prime minister in history of our country of making bad deals. I think it's very possible, based on what we've seen today. So we don't care about any sides. Year on year from 2016, we just calling out what we see here. We're just calling out what we see here, sir. So we want to see the year on year growth here for Jamaica, because it was bad. It was like negative growth in so many years. So we just want to spell it out for you guys, just in case you said because we're pushing propaganda. You know, so I realize like Punkus and them is a team of them who move around, you know. Go ahead, Penny.
So what caused the negative growth? What are the factors that cause the negative growth? You seeing that? And in the same breath, has those factors been rectified for them to know start moving? And what are some factors? Check on them.
Yeah. So in 2016, growth was 2.8%. This was at the peak, massive infrastructure. That this come back to when the Chinese, that probably the 922 million foreign investment, right? So we had a growth of 2.8. 2017, it went down from 2.8 to 2.3. Then it hovered around there, 2.5. This was from the strong mining and tourism performance. That was a bulk of our GDP growth in 2018. 2019, it was the cooling. It was 1.8. The globe pre-pandemic. This is where most economies slow down. Jamaican economy went down minus 10% in the COVID. That's nothing new. That happened worldwide, right? That happened worldwide. But then Jamaica did bounce back to half of that, because we contracted by 10%, right? But in 2021 we rebound to a growth of 5.7%. But that still tells me if we grow back at 5.7%, right? We're still at a 6.3 deficit, right? From the pre-COVID, right? If I'm getting that right, guys? If
you're correct. You're correct.
Because we contracted by 10.1%. Okay.
So you have to go over 10.1 before you can
because before you hit back zero again, right? All right. Yeah. So the 2022 now, after that 5.7, that we're still at a deficit we're still at the 6.3 deficit. 2022, we grew by 6.4. So this would have mean in actuality, the Jamaican economy would have only grown by 0.5 to 1% in 2022, because we're still rebounding pre-COVID here. So we probably grew by one, I would say, we grew by 1 point, let me see here, that's 11. No, we grew by 2%, around 2%. Let's say 2%. 1.8% there. But even though it says 6.4, because people don't look at these numbers and dive into them, they just start saying, look at the economy last year. But it's like you owe a whole bunch of people debt, and you end up get $1,000, you start say you're rich, but you didn't pay about the people that you owe. So Basically, here 2022 we said the economy is that, and ever since that Jamaica economy is around 2.7%. 2024 the economy contracted by 0.5%. 2025 contracted again by 0.4%. 2026 projection, Jamaica economy is projected to contract again by 1.7%. So we are going to have negative growth now for 3 years in a row in Jamaica. Negative growth in Jamaica for 3 years. So when I hear people come on here and talking to me about GDP and unemployment, so Penny, there it is. Negative growth for 3 years in a row. You worked in a bank, my friend. Maybe you can explain to us how that makes sense. Our ghosts are Christine.
You see,
Mr. Blair.
I like the way.
We have established
open your mic, Mr. Blair. Open your mic, Mr. Blair. Sorry, I muted by accident. I was muting myself. I was muting myself.
Always look for the numbers. When you hear them come up and give you this glorious story, just look for the numbers. Numbers don't lie. And that is what we rely on, numbers. Because numbers don't lie. Always draw for the numbers. And if you draw the numbers, they can't fool you.
When you look at Jamaica's brain drain situation, with the second highest brain drain rate in the world, and then you look at the economy and you see a direct correlation, right? And when we talk about economic growth, we often leave out economic satisfaction, right? Because with Jamaica's high brain drain rate, it signifies that many people have jobs and they are not satisfied with their self-actualization in those jobs. You know, when a nurse is going to leave and migrate to the United States for a better pay, for example, she's basically saying that what she's getting locally is not causing her to self-actualize. You know? So
can buy her house and we her mother. She can buy a car unless she
and we can't talk about Jamaica is not America or the UK where we can talk about those economies in the abstract. We have to tie Jamaica's economy to its diaspora, right? And that's where I want us to go. And we have to ask ourselves a question. What if Jamaicans could not migrate in the numbers that we do? Jamaica unemployment will be significantly higher. You know what I mean?
Because you would be stuck with a bunch of skilled people on the island that you can't give jobs.
Exactly. So we can't talk about the economy like how you talk about Denmark's economy, JT, or Finland's economy. We say okay, the employment in Finland is this, because you know that that covers the majority of Finlanders, right? Jamaica's economy must be tied up with the diaspora because we're talking about
Chris, if I may just say, there was a survey done a couple of weeks ago and was printed in the Jamaica Gleaner, where it is said that 2/3 of Jamaicans, when them take sick, they go to private hospital or private doctors. And I said to myself, people cuss the diaspora all the while. But if your family takes sick to Jamaica, the first person they might call somebody a foreign, send a money come. Mama need to go a doctor, Papa need to go a doctor, my niece need to go something. Those are the type of burden the diaspora is facing. Imagine if you did not have a diaspora where 2/3 of the population when them sick go to a private institution. if the diaspora wasn't there to buffer those 2/3 people, then they would have burdened the public sector. I wonder if you understand the reason why I'm making.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I was saying, I said this yesterday that Jamaica diaspora acts as a virtual welfare system. It's a welfare system that's in another country. That's it. It's
exactly.
It is subsidizing the lifestyle of people who cannot afford to live in Jamaica.
Exactly. So when we talk about just like when we talk about Jamaica, we have to talk about Jamaica with Jamaica's social dynamics in mind. You know, we can't just say, oh, you know, the economy go by this per year, blah blah blah. Okay. So we have Manchester then, JT, and some factories open up in St. Ann, and those people get jobs in St. Ann, right? And they go down to St. Ann every morning, work, come back to Manchester in the evening time. The government in Manchester can't credit Manchester for that economic growth when it is St. Ann who is contributing to the low economic to the low unemployment rate in Manchester. In that case, we have to talk about Manchester under the auspices of the fact that Manchester people are getting jobs in St. Ann. You know what I mean?
And so when you look at it, Christy, 25% of Jamaica's GDP is basically welfare.
Yeah.
It's welfare that's subsidized by the diaspora. 25% of Jamaica's GDP is welfare from people sending money from abroad. Imagine those 25% of the GDP wasn't there. Because it's like, for example, Jamaica, that's why when they come and talk, people, they're not coming on this platform to overrun us. I don't care how much crowd them come with, them are going to hit a brick wall. Because, we're prepared for this. We're built for this. They're not coming here with this nonsense. They can come and talk smooth. The debt, and I heard the gentleman last night, and it's 3.7, and when you look at the trade imbalances, and him start talk a bunch of rubbish. I say, sir, no, sir. What you're trying to tell us is not what's happening in Jamaica. If we remove that 25% from the GDP, what's the gap? And Jamaica is running like, if I give you 100,000 to start a shop, right? And you stock out the shop with goods. And every time you sell out the shop, you're spending more on buying to stock back the shop. You cannot save. And that's what we're importing more than we're exporting. So the revenue that's coming in is less than what we're spending. That's not sustainable. You're gonna end up at a deficit. So
JT, can you hear me?
Yes. So yes.
But JT, I don't think that I think you're missing it, So if you have a shop, right, and you're selling the goods cheaper than what you can make a profit, and when it comes around for you to restock the shop, you're calling people Americans and say, hey, listen, me want to start up a business,
Yeah.
That same money that you should have reinvested in the business is not sufficient to restock the shop. So you have to get investment from abroad to stock it up again. And you still continue the same bad business and eating out of it, you're thieving out of it. People come there and thieving out of it, and it can't sustain itself.
And then we should look at that as we are growing positively.
That's not growth.
We're growing positively. We are growing positively. And this is what they want us to tell us. Sensible points. 25% of our GDP come from yes, Roach, 25% come from remittance. So that's 25% of Jamaica's GDP is welfare money in a pool that's sent back by the diaspora. If you remove that, Jamaica is Haiti. You remove that in a day, Jamaica becomes Haiti. What fills that gap? What fills that gap? And just do the maths, 25% of 23 billion. The economy shrinks by 25%. The economy would basically shrink by 25%, basically. If remittance gets shut down tomorrow, Jamaica economy shrinks by 25%. We are already at minus growth. We have been minus growth for 3 years. So Jamaica, you remove GDP, you remove remittance, Jamaica is minus 30% growth. If you remove GDP, Jamaica is minus 30% growth in a realistic world. So I don't know what these folks are telling us that. So you're not telling us anything is going good in Jamaica? There's not a lot going good, my friend. We're at a deficit. Minus 30. And Mel, you can ask us what we do for Jamaica a million times. It doesn't change the numbers. We don't make the numbers. We don't make the numbers. We don't make the numbers. You see, you're asking us what are this is what you know how when Jamaican people get into an argument with you and they can't come back your point, they say you're bad mind. Are you? Well, the next one them always use. Them say you're bad mind and you. Them have a next one, man. Them say you're bad mind or them use a next they say you have a next something. So now the new talk now for we Crispies, what we do for Jamaica. That is the word for bad mind in politics. What you do for Jamaica. You know, so I don't know what we should I don't know. In DJ Pato, I don't know what I can do, Pato, to feel a 25 billion.
JT, so they're asking you what you guys do for Jamaica. All right. So listen, there's a social trend going on. I don't know if Crispy them see it or you see it, where the young guys and women in Kingston, they talk about their budget, their personal budget for the month. Have you seen it, guys?
No.
Have you seen it? You haven't seen it? All right. So Crispy, they're saying, some of them are saying the minimum budget they have for the month is 420,000 for the month. Keep in mind, 420,000 for the month. That's their budget. And I think right now the Prime Minister is talking about a 30,000 minimum wage. And right now, so when he said to you, what are you contributing back to Jamaica? He wants you to contribute to the delusion of these people. They think that the people, most Jamaicans on a good salary, probably making about $80,000 to $90,000. When they pay
per week,
per month.
Oh wow, per month.
Per month.
Let me tell you something. The minimum wage is $17,000 now. It was increased by $1,000 in the last budget cycle. But the government speak. The government had a budget last financial starting of the year, the end of March, early April, where the total budget for Jamaica was $1.47 trillion. $1.344 trillion is recurring expenses, and $99 billion has been allocated for capital projects. So salaries and day-to-day running of the government take up $1.3 trillion. Only $99 billion leave for capital project. So most of what Jamaica earn, and the budget is financed by taxes, revenue, grants, and loans. So they are borrowing money to help to pay a wage bill. And the executive of it, its total yearly budget is $7 $100 million.
But we found their
executive
antidote.
of 35.
We found their antidote, or we found their kryptonite tonight, man. Whenever they show up, we just start going to numbers. That's the fastest way to get rid of them. Once we start pulling the numbers.
As soon as you pull the numbers.
Yeah.
I would encourage you as a young man. And I'm very impressed with you. Really, very impressed. Just use the numbers. Try at all times to be factual.
But
and using the data and the numbers.
That's true, you know, Mr. Blair. But I hope you have that same sentiment when we're beating the other side too, you know, sir. Yes. We don't want you to switch.
Well,
we don't
no.
want you to switch up on us, you know.
No. I am one person who